Welcome to Lesson 6 of our Computer Systems unit. This is the second lesson of our computer architecture topic. Today we're going to look at memory. Our learning intentions for today are as follows. By the end of the lesson, you'll be able to discuss what main memory is, describe what RAM is and what it's used for, also describe what ROM is and what it's used for. We will also be able to compare the characteristics of both RAM and ROM. Our success criteria is I can describe what main memory is, explain what RAM is and what it's used for, explain what ROM is and what it's used for. I can explain the difference between RAM and ROM. I can identify which types of programs would be stored in RAM. I can also identify which types of program would be stored in ROM. Okay, so let's start out by looking at main memory as a whole. What is it? Well, main memory is the function of holding information or data that the computer needs to access when executing instructions. There are two types of memory that we need to know about. Those are RAM and ROM. The first type of memory we'll look at is RAM. RAM stands for Random Access Memory. RAM is used to store all the programs that are currently in use or being worked on at that point. For example, any application programs that you have open, such as Microsoft PowerPoint or Microsoft Word. It will also store the operating system that is currently running. RAM will also hold any information related to processes that are currently being executed within the computer system. It is usually measured in gigabytes. The modern day computer system will have roughly between 8 and 16 gigabytes of RAM. Remember, RAM is our working area. We do not have an infinite amount of RAM, and the RAM can be quickly taken up. The more applications we are running at the one time, the more processes that we are executing will quickly take up our RAM. It is important that we have a way of clearing our RAM when we are finished with these applications and processes. Our operating system has a feature that does that for us. RAM is one of the most important components within our computer system. The second type of memory that we will look at is ROM. ROM stands for read-only memory. ROM is a non-volatile type of memory. This means that when electricity is taken away from this type of memory, the contents of the memory is not erased. This is in stark contrast to RAM, which is a volatile type of memory, which means when electricity is taken away from RAM, the contents of that RAM chip are erased. We store specific types of program within our ROM chip. An example of this would be a bootstrap loader. The bootstrap loader is automatically executed by the processor when the computer is turned on. It reads the boot sector of the hard drive to continue the process of loading the computer's operating system. It basically starts and loads the computer for us. Read-only memory would suggest that the user cannot change the contents of this type of memory. There is a very good reason for this. If we were allowed to change the contents of this memory chip, that means that we could perhaps delete a program such as a bootstrap loader. This means that our computer would not start up. In some ways, this protects the computer system. Random access memory, on the other hand, can be changed. Remember, it is our working area. We put applications, programs and files into RAM if we want to work with them, change them or edit them. Here is a quick comparison of RAM and ROM. Within RAM, we can change the contents of any applications or files that are stored there. On the other hand, within ROM, we cannot change any of those programs or files. It is read only. RAM is a volatile type of memory, which means its contents will be cleared when the computer is turned off and electricity is taken away from it. In comparison to ROM, which is a non-volatile type of memory, its contents will remain when the computer is either turned off or electricity is taken away from it. This is vital to ensure these programs, such as our bootstrap loader, are not automatically erased and deleted. If they were, that would certainly cause us a problem when we try to start the machine in the future. So during this lesson, we have looked at main memory and the different types of main memory. We have looked at RAM and we have looked at ROM. We have looked at their characteristics and what they are used for. To finish off, I want to introduce you to a concept called memory addressing. This is quite a simple concept, basically, which states that the computer's main memory is divided into locations. Each of those locations has its own unique address. Every location can store a certain amount of data within it. Each location having its own address makes it easy for the computer to locate and access these locations and the data stored inside them. We will go into much further detail about this when it comes to higher computing science.